David Settle back with you here on a Monday morning, and it is my pleasure to welcome in the newly crowned Miss Rodeo Wyoming for 2018. I know it's 2017, but trust me, she'll explain that to us for those of us who are not up to date on that. But Morgan Wallace is in studio. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
What does it mean to you to be Miss Rodeo Wyoming?
Well, it means a lot. I've been working for a very long time to hold this title, so I'm very excited. I get started in January, and right now I'm just preparing for a long year ahead.
Talk a little bit about what goes into earning a title like this. I mean, I know that the competition was up at the State Fairgrounds a couple weeks ago, but what all goes into something like this?
So we competed in a 4-day pageant, and it included interviews, written tests, which is very knowledge-based on sport of rodeo and the state of Wyoming, as well as we had to do horsemanship, which is my favorite part. And I got to ride my horse Cookie Monster, which he's now famous.
Yeah.
And we also have to draw horses that we've never been on before and ride them.
What is that like?
It's crazy. It's a lot of hard work. You have to get on a lot of different horses to practice. You never know what you're going to get. But it's always a good time.
Talk a little bit about the way the competition kind of unfolds. I mean, do you feel pressure going in a situation like this?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
We actually, it's interesting. We can't have our phones. We don't have very much contact with our families. We're kind of secluded, and we're just really focusing on what we can do. And of course, we're all very nervous, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed competing against the other women.
So you won, as I understand this correctly, different parts of this competition. You mentioned the horsemanship. That's your favorite part. You won that with Cookie Monster.
I did, yes.
So what do they have you do in a situation like that to kind of show off your horse and what you can do?
We do reining patterns, so I don't know if you've seen it before. It was a lot of quick movements, fast spins, and we do that on our horse, and then we draw a horse and do it again on a different horse.
So you've got to have some pretty good control over the horse. I mean, you and your horse have a relationship, but it's the new horse I can imagine that can be the most challenging for the contestants, not just yourself.
Yes, you have a good connection with your horse that you work on, and that can sometimes take a few years to get. So jumping on a new horse, you don't have a connection with them, and they have different buttons. They're all different. All
right, so you've gone through this. What's the waiting like? Is it a long time? Is it? I'm hoping they're not keeping you too much in the dark, but does it feel like forever?
It does. I'm really excited to get started. Abby is Miss Rodeo Wyoming 2017, and I get to go to the NFR with her in Las Vegas to watch her compete for Miss Rodeo America, to kind of shadow her in that aspect. So I'm very excited for that. I'm preparing for my coronation, which will be held here in the month of October. We're working on the logistics. So
let us know when that is, by the way. But you won some different things. Most programs sold. Knowledge category, photogenic. Morgan's very photogenic. Sorry, dear. I don't know if my wife's listening right now. Personality, and then I mentioned the horsemanship category. Talk a little bit about this. Programs sold. What are we looking at in that regard?
So we have these programs that tell everyone about what's going on in the pageant, as well as we sell ads, and it's a good money earner for the association. So we go around and sell those to people at the state fair.
Well, you must have hit it out the park if you win that category. Knowledge and photogenic and personality. What goes into those three categories?
Knowledge is where the written test comes in, as well as we have a little bit of knowledge base in our interviews. So that's kind of winning the knowledge is kind of scoring the best on the test.
Okay.
Personality, we are judged personality in everything that we do. Personality on how you ride and how you act in an interview and how you speak. And then photogenics is, of course, the application photo that you turn in. Okay,
all right. So all that comes together, and you beat out a few other competitors to earn the title of Miss Rodeo Wyoming 2018. Was this something you grew up aspiring to become?
Yes, I have always wanted to be Miss Rodeo Wyoming, and it has been the main goal of my entire life. I wake up every morning and do something to be Miss Rodeo Wyoming.
Well, congratulations. So what will they have you do? I don't know if you can get into very many specifics, but what is kind of like your calendar year setup once you get going in January?
It's very busy. I'll be traveling across the country to different rodeos to educate people about the sport of rodeo in the state of Wyoming. I'm kind of trying to put my calendar together now, and I have a lot of rodeos on now. I'll be traveling to places like Texas and Florida and California, just educating about the state of Wyoming. and additionally working to better my platform, which is called the Man Up Crusade, and it's the fight against domestic violence. So I'm going to be attending banquets, going into schools, and educating about healthy relationships.
I know you spent a lot of time with Zoe Curtright. How much help has she provided? Because I mean, you're not the first Miss Rodeo Wyoming that's come from Jubilee days here, and at least not recently. I can think of a couple off the top of my head, but how much did you learn from her, and how much did you have to kind of go other places to learn exactly what you needed to earn a title like this?
So Laramie has actually had the most Miss Rodeo Wyomings in history, and so I think Zoe and the association and the committee here in Laramie is a big part of that and why we are able to go do the things that we do. We have that 2-year program here in Laramie, so it gives us a 2-year kind of goal in mind that we know that we're competing for Miss Rodeo Wyoming, so they're always a big help. I did go to a lot of clinics outside and working on various things personally, but I do credit the Laramie Jubilee Days Committee for this.
What do you work on clinics? I mean, is it the written test and kind of going through interviews and things like that?
Yeah, we do a lot of mock interviews. We do a lot of speeches, and we have to model. So practicing modeling is something that you really have to practice.
I can imagine you love what you do with your horse, and so modeling maybe not quite comes natural, so to speak, for everybody. But I mean, some probably easier than other. Do you find that a little easier for yourself, or was it a little more challenging?
I was a dancer, so that helped a lot.
Okay.
As well as I like to tell people, modeling is basically like a horsemanship pattern for you. You just have to set it out. It's like you're riding your horse, but you're just walking.
Okay, that's a great way to look at it. Actually, that's probably the best I've heard that described before. So, again, congratulations, and it's going to be a big year for you, so much so that you're taking a little break from school, it sounds like.
Yes, I'm actually taking a 1.5 years off of school to prepare and to travel, and this semester I'm taking it off so I can have that coronation, because that's our main fundraiser for the entire year.
Yeah, well, I can't blame you. I mean, it sounds like your schedule is going to be jam-packed.
Yes.
For from January through December.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you go from Miss Rodeo Wyoming to competing? I know you said earlier you're going to get a visit with Abby. Forgive me your last name here. Haydock, thank you. Who's the current Miss Rodeo Wyoming for this year? You're going to get a chance to kind of shadow her out in Vegas. What is that competition like? Have you ever been around anything like that?
I have. I've seen it, parts of it.
Okay.
It is a big step up. We go from 4 days to, I think, around 10 days long.
Wow.
So it is a very big pageant, and a lot more goes into it. I'll be competing against about 30 girls, so it's definitely a step up.
Do you, this is a really loaded question here, did you consider yourself a favorite going in this year? I mean, how was it to compete against other girls from across the state?
I think when you're competing against women that have put the effort into showing up to a state pageant, you never count anyone out, because they're there for a reason and they've worked just as hard as you have. Going in, I knew that I had God on my side and my family and Jubilee Days on my side, so I was very excited, but I never once thought that I was going to win. Even in that moment, I was telling my parents, it might not happen, we need to come back next year. And then it happened.
All right, well, congratulations again. You are going to be traveling. Is your horse ready for all this traveling?
I actually do not take Cookie Monster with me anywhere.
Really?
Everywhere I go, I will be hopping on a new horse.
That's got to be a little interesting.
Yes.
I guess that's where that horsemanship kind of comes in when you get that blind draw.
Yeah, they'll just hand you a horse, you hop on and go in.
All right, well, most of these horses are pretty well trained. I'll say that much. I mean, the cowboys and cowgirls across the country do a great job of that. Well, congratulations. Let us know again on the date on the coronation. We'll announce that and let everybody know when it's coming up. But thanks so much for coming in and talking about this. Congratulations. That's a big honor for you. You should relish in it a little bit.
Thank you so much.